What is going on out there, ladies and gentlemen? Keaton 7 here with Team JVS. I got the squad with me. We're going to be talking about The Boys Season 4, Episode 6. Whew. It's been a heavy season, y'all. How y'all doing?
That was disturbing.
Which part are we talking about?
They went too far.
Right.
Bro,
No,
I want to say,
Are we talking about the web hole? Are we talking about the hole that motherfucker said he was going to drill into Huey and then fuck? Are we talking about the shooting?
see, the thing is, I love watching this. I love watching this as a group because it's like everyone is freaking out, and it's rightfully so. Rightfully so. The stuff that they're doing here is borderline insane. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that are writing this show, I'm really hoping that they are getting the help that they seek.
Are
Are they okay? They need a hug, but at the same time, thank you for entertaining us.
Yeah.
This episode was probably one of my favorite episodes of the series, but at the same time, the most disturbing episode of any show I've ever watched.
Yes, Busy. You said it well. Right. I like how you would was just like which part?
I just literally.
Nah, yeah, this man Sam was ready to go full on Karen mode and get his pen out and write a letter on how this was too far. Like it was just so funny watching this man. He's like, they didn't do that. There's no way. He had to like take off his headset and walk away because it was too much for him. It was like
I'm sad I missed watching.
Oh no, you'll see it.
The rest of the group because my face watching this episode, I was just like,
God, I wish you were with us, man.
Like I was in the room by myself. You know how you have those reactions where it's like even when you by yourself, you look around like, did y'all see that?
Yeah, I've been looking at my dogs like, bro, you saw that shit?
I'm sitting there talking to Jeffrey D. Morgan myself. I'm like, yep, you seeing this?
Which was one of the greatest twists that we've had here. I think that was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Twist.
The way that they handled that was fantastic.
Perfect casting. Perfect casting.
Twist. All right. So my first question for y'all is because we know how they left it at the end of episode 5. Episode 5, it was just absolutely heartbreaking. What were y'all's feelings with the hard code switch between how episode 5 ended and right off the bat how episode 6 started with the Spider-Man of the Boys universe?
I think it was needed. Considering the way the last episode was, where we had that really depressing B storyline with Huey and his dad, and then we had the whole farm animal sequence, which again was probably hilarious. It was hilarious to me. I thought that was fantastic. But ending on the Huey note and then picking up with the spider butthole was just a really like kind of, it was the pickup we needed.
Excuse me, webhole.
Webhole, excuse me, my apologies. It was different. It was great. Oh my God, this man Huey at the end of the episode when he was like, I am not okay. I wasn't sure what he was referring to, either the dad or the fact that he's been assaulted. Either way, I felt so bad for this dude. And this shit was a trip.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that his dad died. When he said, I am not okay, I was like, yeah, dude, you basically
and also that.
He's like, my dad. I was like, oh yeah.
It reminded me of something, a personal thing that happened to me. I remember one time I went to a new therapist. And the first thing that first time you ever go to a therapist session, it's always that hash out where you just give them your whole life story.
Literally.
Okay.
And I remember giving her like the first few years of my life because I've been through some things, not anything like The Boys.
All right, that's what concerned me though.
But I just remember her putting down her small notebook and picking up a larger notebook.
Bro, the way we were talking about the web hole, and you're like, "Oh, that reminds me of a childhood story."
Yeah. No. Let me. All right, edit the whole show. Edit it out. We in.
I literally screamed.
Let me stop. But
there's video. There should be video evidence. I screamed twice.
Yeah, oh my God. I feel like at this point we're all having panic attacks with Mother's Milk. Like,
oh my God.
At this point, we're all Mother's Milk. Like, that's all of us. Like,
Speaking of panic attacks, at the end when he was like having a heart attack, I was like, "Is that a panic attack?" Because I just finished rewatching The Sopranos, and the way that they would depict panic attacks was just like by him fainting.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say "speaking of milk" and then refer to the last scene.
No, good lord, but we will get there. I have to get there.
And that's one thing I feel like we haven't. The fact that Mother's Milk has like had to basically come in and take over what never bothered Butcher. Like none of this would bother, but he's just like, yeah, we do whatever we need to do, got to get it done. But now there's Mother's Milk in there, and he legit has like OCD. He's a germaphobe. It's like, yo, this world is against you, my man.
Yeah. Oh my god.
This is like having a Howie Mandel on like Fear Factor or something like that. Like having him involved with that shit. It was so interesting to see how they were handling this. But yeah, that was probably my favorite part. Like MM has stepped up completely and he knows what he has to do. He's letting all of his boundaries be like passed, but at the same time it's showing. And that's part of the reason why it's taking such a toll on his mental health, as we saw the the little panic attack, which is probably going to go to something else. I mean, we have Butcher who got cancer. All the leaders are catching these hands. So like I'm a little worried about what's gonna happen. I mean, one of them, something terrible is gonna happen, so I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. And so the thing, this one of the characters that this episode really focuses on, and we saw him a bit in Gen V, and we saw him a lot more in this, is Tech Knight. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate it because as much as I love Batman, he's clearly the Batman of this universe.
Yeah.
What were y'all's thoughts on his, what do they call it, the tech cave?
I'm gonna be so completely honest. Tech Knight is a character I was really familiar with from the comics, so I was waiting for them to include him. Like I was really waiting for them to include him when they announced Jeffrey Dean Morgan to be to be involved with the show. I was crossing my fingers that he was going to be Tech Knight because I thought he would absolutely kill that role. And then when I saw that they brought him into Gen V, I was a little curious. Of course, when he mentioned the cave, that mech on the right was what I expected to see. I got excited thinking we were going to see Tech Knight's mech.
Because we've got references to it. Same situation.
I can't be doing that no more. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, instead of seeing a super suit, I see like a leather suit, and it really messed up my head a little bit. But it was still a really like messed up surprise. But Tech Knight has been, of course, a character that I've really wanted to see ever since the first like season when they like were name dropping him during the superhero like support group and all that, talking about how like he broke some woman's spine or something, or paralyzed some. I don't even know, but like this is definitely not the route that I expected. I knew he was a freak, but this was some next level shit.
This was absolutely next level. Like I keep every single season of The Boys, before it comes out, the show creators always say something like, this is the craziest season yet. We're going to do the wildest stuff yet. And
we're always like, you're full of shit.
And after Herogasm, I legit didn't believe them. I'm like, okay, like you say that. And they're just sitting back in a recliner like, yo, we about to kill them with this one. We about to cook with this one. It was like, we're going to play this song 6 times in a row. Like, and so it was, I was so shocked when he got him down there and he has like a black butler and like also Tech Knight.
Black Alfred. His name was Alfred.
Oh my God.
And he called him Master.
What about the conversation? I'll tell you what stuck out. 2 conversations really stuck out heavy to me. One was Tech Knight's conversation with the senator and with A-Train about how his family made their money.
Oh my God.
And he looks at A-Train and he's like, we would have caught you too. And A-Train is like, this is the world that I'm in right now. I was absolutely flabbergasted.
That was unreal.
Yeah.
That was unreal. Because that's the kind of audacity that racist people tend to have in real life, too. And he said that looking directly in the eye. He was like, oh, you would have given my granddaddy a run for his money, but we would have caught you. I was like, I was literally just like this the whole time.
Yeah. It made me make that face where I was just like, did y'all hear that? Like, how dare you say that in front of me and my Blu-rays?
And there was another there were a couple conversations in that party that made me make that face. Like there was another one where I think Victoria was talking to like a congressman, and he repeated something that was said by an actual representative in 2014. They made me Google it again. It was Todd Aiken, his claim that women can't actually get pregnant from legitimate rape. And it was just another instance of the show, it's like just being just hyper realistic, despite the presence of superheroes and surrealism. And it's just that was another great conversation, great moment in there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Biz.
I think that it's interesting because we're all with our mouths wide open when Tech Knight was talking about. Okay, we were all. Jesus, I can't do this. I mean, I was gonna say jaw drop. That's no better. We were there just flabbergasted while Tech Knight was talking about just slavery talk, and it was just so like. It was crazy just seeing Firecracker just so invested in everything. She was smiling, she loved it, and it just shows. Like, I mean, this dude they were eating it up, and it shows why he's so confident to talk like that, because a majority of the other people he's hanging out with are dickheads like him. But because we're talking about Tech Knight, I want to dive into this. How many of you think? I know they said he was dead, but how many of you think he's still alive?
Oh, I think he done.
Yeah?
I think Black Alfred got him cooked. I think he might be done.
I wouldn't believe that Black Alfred killed him.
Isn't he a suit though? Like, doesn't he have? So is he kind of like Night Sage in the sense that like she has a brain ability, but she's not super strong? Like, does he have?
Yeah, he is. So from the sound of it. It was kind of like he was Daredevil, but like times 100, except for the part, he's not blind because like his senses are heightened, taste, touch, everything. So it seemed like he did have that. And again, in the comics, I know he's a little more just involved, more action wise. So I was just hoping that he would make one more appearance. But because like I said, that mecha is something I want to see in live action. So
I don't ever want to see that character again, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like, I mean, I've kept my mouth shut, but this dude, there was racism, there's Satanism, there's this like dominatrix stuff. Like, there's so much in this that I honestly do feel like they went too close to the sun. And
I love how that's in the same group. The dominatrix stuff is in the same group as the racism and the
when Ashley walked in. Oh my God, Lord.
Every time she walks in.
And every time she opened her mouth to say something, it just kept getting worse and worse. And what's bad is like I was as it's streaming, Sam, I can't stop it. I can't pause to breathe. I can't. What's this going? It's going.
Did you give this man time to cope before we talked about it?
We didn't have time to. Well, yeah,
we got to sleep.
Yeah.
Look, I watched the episode on the same link we on right now. I ain't had time to breathe.
Nah. Oh, this poor guy.
But before we even go deeper into the dungeon, I also wanted to ask y'all about the conversation that Sister Sage had with Victoria Newman. I thought that was a very powerful conversation with how she broke it down. And I'm really wondering what Victoria's plan is after hearing Sister Sage, because we heard what she said to the crowd, but did she mean that, or is that part of her scheme? Like, I want to know y'all's thoughts, because I felt like it was a very powerful conversation. Sam, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think that was absolutely her moment to realize, like, I've gotta do what my dad taught me. I have to control the room because no one else. Like, there's so many different superpowers around, not just physically, but these men that feel like they need this power and they have to maintain it. And I think that Sister Sage's conversation, where it was such a real moment, because I mean, basically, she was like, my grandma was dying, and I created a way to protect her and save her, and they looked at me like I was foolish, like this stupid black girl laughed at me in my face, and I could have saved any of them. And she looked at her and like, look, I need you to step up because they all are dirt. And she's talking about humanity, she's talking about humans, but it's because of her circumstances that brought her to that revelation. But ultimately, she's learned a lot from Edgar, but she's also seen what Homelander's capable of. She's seen what the political environment really is. And honestly, out of everybody, she has the most pull to really control everything. I think she just needed a little bit of a push to understand, one, Homelander is not going to keep his stuff together. Two, like, I'm more than capable of being able to take care of this. And I think that because he wasn't able to step up, he feels inadequate again. But yet with her, it's like, if I don't do this, we're all going to be screwed, because I'm not going to let myself get outed in the wrong way. I'm going to use this as a pull, just like what Edgar would do. So I think it was a really powerful moment for her to get that from Sage. It's just Sage got shot in the head, and so she really couldn't recoup Homelander's situation. She's over there. I don't know what she was eating, but God knows, the girl was like,
she was eating the cake.
She was going
in on that cake. That's right.
She was eating the butt cake. Yeah, she was eating the butt cake.
I forgot about that.
I didn't realize that's what it was.
Her brain cells didn't regenerate fast enough to see the ass shape inside.
Oh my God, I hate it here.
Wait, what did you say?
So the cake that she was eating was the cake that Huey put.
Yeah, that's what you said,
on.
but I didn't notice that either. I still refuse to believe it.
Me neither, because I was like, wait, how did it come from the cave all the way back up there?
Ashley hit the one that took it back up. Remember? Remember, she left with it. And I mean, God knows what Ashley did.
See, that wasn't the gross. Well, she did fart on it. But the fact is, the part that really messed me up. Oh, God, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. Because, I mean, they did it in the episode, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Let me find the correct vocab. So, when Ashley,
when Busy has to do this, it's bad, y'all.
When Ashley reached her, her peak, if you will, she had, the Nickelodeon slime and rubbed it on, Huey's face. That scene was way too much. That was way too much, and I didn't know what was happening until I saw this weird looking substance just being rubbed on his face, and I think I might have gagged in that moment, because
I think I did.
Like, this man is a victim. Like, it is so messed up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, that was complete sexual abuse that they subjected us to.
God, and oh my God.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. The show is definitely, I don't know. I feel like they could definitely just like chill out sometimes. They've already shown us that they can go there. We saw Hero-gasm. We saw the exploding genitalia last
and I thought that was watered down compared to like the comics and stuff, like the Hero-gasm thing.
The
Hero-gasm specifically.
Yeah. The thing about this show is, one thing, because I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the comic. I couldn't really get through it just because I felt like the story was so much less than the gratuitous violence. And in the Amazon show, the reason it's held up, I feel like, is because they put a lot more story with that level of violence that you thought could only be drawn in a comic book panel. They're like, nope, we're gonna give it to you because Jeff Bezos is rich. Like, it's like we do what we want around here because we bought the censors. Like, it's like Amazon might be real life bought, like with this. But yeah, it was absolutely unhinged. Unhinged is the word that I'll call this. This might be the most out of pocket episode of anything that I've ever seen.
And again, it was great to see both of them at the bottom cringing as much, because I've never seen them do that as much as they've done in this episode. And I've watched a lot of shit with Sam, and that says a lot.
But, oh no, this joint, I'm not even gonna lie, this joint gave me a tick. Like, I felt like MM. Like, every time MM was clenching his fist, I was doing like this.
I was salty Keaton wasn't here with us. But I do want to say, by far, I hate the shameless plug, but this is going to be my favorite reaction to edit because of you guys and your reactions and everything. This shit was ridiculous.
It was
sure. So, and here's the thing too, because this is something we talked about when we did our last review, how the whole storyline with Kamiko and Frenchie kind of slowed things down a bit. They made sure to show you that storyline just to be like, we ain't slowing down anything this episode. You just go sit with it. Because Frenchie just straight up said,
nope.
I don't want no visitors.
Nope.
I don't want no visitors. Back to the hot mess in progress.
I was thinking more about like just the lack of Frenchie in this episode, and it dawned on me that this might be like they might be writing him off the show, and I think that A-Train is going to take his spot next season. I don't know if you guys have heard of like some of the political controversy the actor's sort of in. I'll let y'all look that up. I'm not going to bring it up here. But yeah, so that's like a kind of a little inkling that I had, because it's just too weird that he would turn himself in, and then like we wouldn't even see a scene with him telling Kamiko like, listen,
that's
don't see me again. And then the next time, maybe like getting denied visitation, you know, I don't know. It's like he's just gone. Like it's weird. It's like he's off the shooting schedule. I'm not sure.
So, I mean, well, to go there, do you guys think that his storyline has been written a specific way because of that? Because honestly, I'm not saying that I was a shipper of Kamiko and Frenchie, but I kind of felt like they're an in-game kind of situation up until this season. It was really weird because I was like, they always had like this great friendship relationship, but it's really deeper than that. It's like almost like that's his person, that's her person. They're almost like soulmates. And it's kind of like all of a sudden, like now it's like going a completely different left turn. I think that, I don't know, they wrote it safe because it could be they needed to blow over, because ultimately it's still a very intimate gesture that he doesn't want to be connected to her to see him like this because he's so disgusted with it himself. Realistically, that's a real situation. And her desire to be there for him, no matter what, like the guard was like, he don't want you here. And she's like, I don't got nowhere else to go. And she's just crying there. Like, that's a real friend. That's a real moment. But I don't know. It just feels weird how up until this season, his storyline just kind of maneuvered them apart. I thought it was to maneuver them apart to build them to have something stronger. But that could still happen. I don't know. But we don't have that many episodes left, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, because we only have 2 left after this one, right? So everything that's going on in the dungeon is wild. Starlight comes face to face with Firecracker again.
Firecracker.
Yeah, Firecracker. Yeah. And we got something else to talk about with her too, because Homelander also has a new supplier. So
yes, he does. His favorite resource.
Dog, that made me twitch for real. Just like, it was like so much stuff.
He lost in the sauce again.
Oh my god!
They went right in that man's mouth, bro. I ain't gonna care. Like he
was
like,
the milky meat.
Yo, the look on his face when he was like, "This is the real product. This is yo." It was like Walter White's blue meth. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
You got the real, this got the sauce in them. Like,
I just want to say how smart of a move that was on her part. Yeah. Forget the lack of personal respect that you have to have as a person.
Ultimate pick me.
To put yourself in service to another person like that, let alone Homelander. she's getting what she wanted from that. I think, she wanted to be closer to Homelander. Ashley told her, a few episodes ago, it was like, you want Homelander's attention, let him suck on your titties or whatever. She took that to heart. She took that to heart. And also, like, Homelander's going to have a reason to have her back now. He has a reason to have her back now, and she has a little bit of a leg up for that. Like right now, up until now, like he and Sage have kind of been like perfect partners because they both see each other as, superior to humanity, superior to other supes. Like he says to Tech Knight in this episode, like, you're not the same as me. You can't even fly, so like superiority is a big thing to them. So I feel like this is going to give Firecracker a bit of an edge that's going to make Sage uncomfortable. And I'm excited to see if tensions between those two will come to a head a bit more.
Yeah. I thought I really did like the confrontation because Starlight truly is sorry for what she did. I do believe that like bullies can be apologetic, but at the same time, like the monsters that bullies can create from that abuse, it's like, look, you can't stop this train. It's already left the station. Like, and so I really like that they showed how remorseful Annie was, but at the same time, Firecracker's like, nah, you that was my villain origin story, and I'm proving it right now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. The thing about this episode with Sage, like it was two different moments where she kind of missed a step. One, she was a little too comfortable. Like she put things in the trajectory she needed to, but she didn't think about the different variables. Like, what if the heroes did show up? And it was kind of like the moment that she got shot in the head and she was recovering, like Homelander for the first time, I can't rely on her anymore, which makes her very vulnerable. Like he felt inferior all over again. Like he felt embarrassed all over again. Like he started freaking out. The moment that he couldn't look to her or rely on her, like it was like if Victoria hadn't been there, like this would have all went downhill. I was halfway thinking Homelander's about to kill everybody in this room because he's feeling this inferiority complex bubbling up all over again. And it's weird because that means that every bit of like his security that he did have was still on sand. It was built on sand. So it's kind of like if Ryan, hypothetically speaking, just kind of like loses it and kind of dips out away from his dad, he's going to go off the rails all over again. So it's just this instability that makes it so fascinating. And I don't know what happens by the time if Victoria does win. I don't know what he's going to look at himself as being to her, because basically even in her statement, thanks to Sage motivating her, she's like, muscle is one thing, but we need security, and I can make sure that you guys are protected. And it's like he's supposed to be that, and he couldn't articulate that at all.
So one thing that I look at this as, and I wonder if I'm going to be right on the money with this, but they set this season up as, okay, we know that Homelander is the most powerful. We know how strong he is. We know how invulnerable he is. But more than anything, he wants people to love him. He wants to be liked. There's a part of me that thinks this whole season and every single thing that's happening is him getting past that. And all of these people with their plans, whether it's Victoria Newman, whether it's Sister Sage, whether it's President Singer, all of these people with their plans, he can end it just like that if he gets over that hump of just wanting the general public to like him. He could roll up in the White House right now and end it if he wanted to. And I feel like that's what it's leading up to, because once again, he's like, all right, I have this plan, and Sister Sage is going to help me. And all of a sudden, Victoria Newman just comes out of nowhere and just steals every bit of his thunder, every bit of it, and embarrassed him. She had to basically come on stage and save him because, and you got that silent hum from him as he's like, I just took another L. And I don't know how much more of that he can take, especially with him and Ryan still not being 100%. I really do think that because they have announced already that next season is going to be the last season of the show. I really do think it's setting up this situation where it's just going to be, how do we stop Homelander? Because he is seemingly unstoppable, especially now that we know that this Black Noir is not the same, right? He's just like, I'm just trying to get paid. Like, what is happening right now?
Well, that's a good segue though, because every person in the 7 now are really unhinged, from even down to the deep. Like, they feel like they can do whatever they want. Before, it was like a political, I can do whatever I want to on the side or behind the curtains. They don't even care about a curtain anymore, because the way that Deep was talking to him, it was like, oh no, you can go and do this, and like killing people and being violent, it'll make you feel better. Like, that kind of talk is psychotic. And yet the Deep, I think he fully believes it. I think that's his interpretation of what the reality is. And they're all like that. And to be honest with you, as much as Starlight, has moved away from the 7, she's a lot more volatile than she's ever been too. To be honest with you, every single scoop, I feel like, is way more unhinged than they were the first season. I think the only one that is come to a good moral high ground is A-Train. And it's crazy because he was the first person that we saw do violence in the show. Like, he, willingly saved Mother's Milk. He didn't have to save that man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mother's Milk, ultimately, he even said to Mother's Milk, like, you can't even save me. But the last episode, he kind of talked A-Train down. And I thank God for Kamiko, because Kamiko was like, look, bro, like, do it for his daughter. And he's like, freak, let me do it. So he went and saved them. And that moment that he saw somebody saving someone, I think is going to do everything for him on an internal level. I don't think any hero that I've seen has getting that revelation with the power that they have, which is crazy that A-Train will be that one, which makes me scared that A-Train's going to die, to be honest.
Absolutely.
He's finally getting the actual revelation.
Because that's what happens to good people in this world, especially like just seeing I know, I hate it. He
has to replace Frenchie in season 4. He has to be there.
It was just the way that kid looked at him when he dropped off Mother's Milk at the hospital. And he was like, that gave him so much joy and so much empowerment, because it's like, oh, I was actually a hero. Like, it's not smoke show. It's not a movie trailer. It's not fake. It's me actually helping someone, which is something the 7 flat out doesn't do. They just don't ever. They're just, it's so corrupt. And it's like, oh, wow, look what happens when you're not corrupt once. It's like, good Lord. But at the same time, that's still just driving Homelander to this unhinged place, because he is feeling like he can't trust anyone, because now we know he is not. Okay. Now we know that, like, the guy that they thought was the leak isn't the leak. And so now he's looking around and he's like, who can you trust? And Firecracker's like, I got 2 reasons that you can trust me. And he's like, okay, I think I can trust you. While I think about who the real traitor is, I'm gonna eat real quick. and that's just how they. But like that's and then after all of this, they wrap this episode up with Butcher. I just want to know y'all's thoughts on just that last scene with Butcher. And I don't know who wants to go first, but I just want to know how y'all felt about it because whew, it was heavy.
Ah, man, the writing to make this pay off in the way that it did was superb. Because, you know, we've known the Butcher's been dealing with a lot. I mean, him using the V, it causing him basically a clock on his life, ultimately. And like we know he's falling. And then when when he saw his wife and she's trying to motivate him to keep moving forward, but we also know that there's a monster inside of him that's trying to protect the body at the same time. We don't really know what's going on, but then we all know that every single time Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character shows up, it's just always this malicious intent, like this going back to the old days and all that, the all or nothing days. And when we got that reveal at the end, I think all of us collectively were like, wait. Did we ever see, Jeffrey Dean Morgan with everybody?
When he told her to shut up,
whew, right?
Yeah,
like, it was this weird thing that Busy was kind of like, have we ever seen him with anybody?
Right before we started the episode.
And I was kind of like, no. Nobody's indirectly or directly had any kind of communication with him. And even the guy that they had captive always looked at Butcher. He never looked to the side. He never talked to anybody. And I was like, dang, that would be crazy if it's in his mind. But I think, you said it, Keaton, that's like, what if there are two sides to this coin? And sure enough, it is. And I don't know. That's just it's amazing writing, dude. Like, I don't know how to way to put it. That's the perfect way to end the episode because I really have no idea where this is going to go.
He quite literally had an angel and the devil on his shoulder. Yeah. Like, it was just really cool to see how it was kind of, I don't know, the symbolism, whatever the hell you want to call it. But the fact that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was the demon, and I don't know, it was such good use of him as an actor, I think. Yeah. Because I mean, I truly expected him to be a little more involved with the cast, and as I started, as the episodes have progressed, I was starting to realize, like, this man's not communicating with anyone else. It makes sense, but I think what kind of made me think was when they went to go see Mallory, and he was just chilling there in the break room, and he's over here plotting like, "Oh, we need you back, Butcher." Like, while he's in the same building as Mallory, like, I don't know. The idea that they weren't on the same page, the idea that he wasn't communicating with anybody, it just made me kind of question these things. It was interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think what got me was that straight up reveal when he said, "I was the one that killed." Who's the Stretch Armstrong soup? Ezekiel.
Yeah.
That revealed this, like, I am the cancer, like I am whatever's inside you that's protecting you, that's getting this done. That's getting this done right now. And so I just thought that reveal, I was pleasantly surprised by how they pulled the trigger with it, because when she's sitting there pleading, when the wife is sitting there pleading with Butcher, and all of a sudden he's just like, "Will you shut up?" Like, that was excellent writing. That was just really phenomenal writing, because it hits you that hard hit that's like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Because it hits us the same time it hits Butcher. Like, he's realizing it too. And so I just, this episode, the thing about The Boys is whatever their most out-of-pocket episodes are, they'll still have some really good writing and really good plot points that make you say, fine, let me see what happens next episode, no matter how out-of-pocket they get. And honestly, I'm judging myself on this one. This should have been too far. I should have cut this off.
It was too
I should have cut this off. It wasn't, though. I finished it, and I'm going to be right there to watch the next episode.
No. You tolerated it and watched it. If somebody, is a movie that I watched and I should have never watched. It's called Martyrs. Terrible, grotesque violence. Don't ever watch that movie. I'm not saying that for somebody to go and watch it. I'm
just saying, reacting to it.
No.
I know the movie.
I'm never watching that movie again. But I'm saying that I watched it and I continued it because just for the sake of like, oh, I gotta finish it. That's not saying that the movie wasn't too far. It absolutely was. And I'm sorry. I'm gonna stick to that. This was too far, bro. Like they crossed the line. Like we ain't even talking about like honestly what Huey went through. And I don't even think I want to talk about it because I'm still traumatized. Like he literally in the beginning of the episode, he's so messed up. He was scattering his dad's ashes in New York, not taking it to a designated place. He was like just talking to his mom casually, smiling. And then all of a sudden he's talking about like how, you know, we killed somebody and like he's dealing with this existential crisis because he, you know, killed the person that he was in love with, his family. And his mom was like, are you okay? Who are these people you're hanging out with? Like you realize he's still a human. He's still mortal. And he's going through all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, he was absolutely sexually abused, mentally abused. Like he was defiled in this episode. But it ain't nothing compared to what he's gone through this whole entire series. Like up until this point, the one person that he loved really had his back, but didn't understand what he was trying to do. Since he lost his girlfriend, it died. And like he couldn't even take time for himself. And it's like, dog, like they put that man through the ringer in this joint, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, Tech Nine should have got the worst. Like him getting strung up by the black dude was poetic. But
yeah,
he deserved much worse. Like, man, when he was talking to, bro, I was getting hot when he was talking to Adrian. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's me keeping it that with y'all. That was too much. That was too much. For me. So,
but it's just like Rai said, like that is what a racist will say to you, like straight up and feel nothing. It's happened. Like, unfortunately, it's happened before. I've heard people say stuff on that level, just completely out of pocket, not even realizing, yo, you should be put through a wall for that. Like,
I was there was a period of time I was appearing in court for somebody else's case as a witness. I walked out of the courtroom one day. There were two police officers directly outside, both white men. One was younger, one looked a little bit older. The older one was saying to the younger one, who was completely silent. So I kind of got the sense that he didn't fully agree with what the older one was saying. But he said, you see all this violence in minority communities. You cannot just tell me it's because of their economic situation. You know, and I was standing right next to this man. I looked at this man. He did not look in my direction. I know he saw me. You know, like legit, that is the audacity that these people have. Yeah. Fairfax County Police Department cop.
Again, it's I mean I appreciate the show is unapologetically showing us like what is reality and making a parody of it, but at the end of the day, like this is what we're looking at for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So I have to say this went too far. I mean, it's still an A+. It's one of the best episodes of the series, but yeah, dog. I don't know if I can rewatch this episode. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, it was heavy.
Oh god,
it was heavy. So I'll go around. What are y'all's ratings? Busy? What do you give this episode rating?
That's an A+ for me. I mean, the amount of times I was just in awe with the decisions that the writers made, and the fact that I love shock value, but it made sense, you know, and it's really pushing the story for episode 7. Like, I'm really excited for what they set up for episode 7. I still don't say pushing, my bad. It's gonna be, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it. I think this is one of the best episodes of the entire series. And yeah, that's pretty much it. A+.
A+. Right.
I will also go ahead and say A. And I will rewatch it with my eyes closed, no scenes. Yeah, it was really good. There was a lot that was like almost too much, but it made sense for each character. So that's what I'll say.
I have to edit, so I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Sam.
You rated that joint already, no?
I already rated it. I gave it an A+. I just it went too far, bro. But it's just really good writing. I don't know how to really put it.
Wait, what went too far? Where?
Okay, no, we're not
Huey.
Yeah.
No one went
Dominatrix. Everything in that dungeon was too far.
That was nice.
The Nickelodeon.
Everything in the dungeon.
Matter the Nickelodeon slime was too much.
Shout out to Tech Nine's sidekick.
Tech Knight. Don't bring a wonderful rapper into this conversation.
True.
Fantastic musician.
Well, that was one of my favorite parts. Sorry.
His sidekick breaking out, because the funny thing is, like, when Huey was about to get cut, like, I was like, oh, he's trying to actually save Huey. And then when he was like, oh, how you hurt a masochist?
How do you hurt a billionaire?
You know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you guys have seen it, and I'm sure they didn't do this on purpose, but it really reminded me of The Boys Diabolical. I don't know if you guys ended up seeing that anthology series.
Oh yeah.
So at the end, this isn't really a spoiler, but this is canon. It's when Homelander first shows up and is part of the Seven, and Black Noir is kind of the one who's involved. He's the one who is the guy. And there's a scene where Homelander ends up killing a bunch of people, and he looks at Black Noir thinking Black Noir is going to snitch. So he's chasing Black Noir, trying to kill him. And then it gets to the point where Black Noir can't talk at this point, but he ends up breaking someone's neck in front of Homelander, and then he puts his hands up to let him know, like, hey, like, I'm not the bad guy. So it just really reminded me of the whole sidekick situation, who again put his hands up, can't talk, let him know I'm not your enemy. It was literally like the same exact shit as the whole Black Noir situation, where they just both can't talk. They have to let them know where I'm actually here to help you. I'm not, and it was just, I thought it was pretty cool, considering that was probably the best episode of the entire show. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Man, it's the weirdest A. It's the weirdest A I've ever given. Like, I'm not gonna say minus or plus. I'm gonna say A with a question mark, because
man's gonna add it with the A with the hole.
A? Like,
no.
Because like that was just that was just it was rough. It was rough to watch. It was rough to watch, like every bit of it. Like they just, but at the same time, the writers told us, they said this is the craziest season yet. And I'm like, well, Herogasm was before, so surely you're just saying that, because who wouldn't say that about their show? But they're just like, nah, we gonna mess y'all up. Like,
for real.
Like I feel like the writers are like mad at me, and I don't know. I don't know what I did to them, but like I just want them to know, like, we cool. Like, you don't have to keep doing this to me. But I'll be right there as soon as that 7th episode drops. I'll be right there, front row seat. Let's do it. Let's go. But yeah, I definitely give it an A. Phenomenal writing. Yeah, they push the bars, but I do like where they went with some of the stories and some of the character development. I do like where they went with it. So yeah, I give it an A. Give everyone a chance to give their shout outs. Anyone have any last remarks? I guess last remarks and okay.
This is
solid
what I
last
feel.
remark.
That's
all
what
right.
I'm feeling.
All right. I don't think Sam needs the plug. This is TeamJVS. It's what he does. How about you, Busy?
Busy Braun everywhere. Busy Reactions on Instagram, and TeamJVS for more reviews.
Okay. Did Sam leave? Did he just leave?
I don't know, but I'll go ahead and plug my Twitch. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/onlyanchors. I play any type of game that's not sports, really. So right now I'm playing Elden Ring.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. And me, Keaton7, you can find me here on TeamJVS. We do big things here, but also in addition to that, me and my friend Dr. Amelia Brown run a very awesome podcast called Bat Therapy. You might want to listen to some episodes after you watch this latest episode of The Boys. We take a look at mental health through the lens of comics and film, and so we have a good time. We have some really awesome breakdowns, and we just started a new season. So yeah, definitely check us out at bat-therapy.com. But you can also look us up anywhere where you listen to podcasts, because we are out there and we are growing, and we love our fans. And yeah, give us a listen and holla at me. But that's all, folks. We will be hitting y'all back up for more of season 4 of The Boys. Be on the lookout, because yeah, we out here. Good luck.
Falling out the top of the I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't